It's Dolphins versus Texans week, both on the field in the preseason, in the joint practices, which we'll break down on today's show, and here at Chat Sports, a sub-battle this week against the Texans channel, and I would like nothing more than to crush them. In exchange for subscribing and helping us win, you get free Dolphins videos every single day. We begin with the news of the day for the Miami Dolphins, now official, what had been readable between the lines, I'll say. Christian Wilkins is officially holding in during Dolphins training camp. He has not had a full participation day at practices since August 5th. Wilkins wants a new contract, and now he's holding in. To avoid the fines, he's present, he's there, he does the warm-up stuff, etc. He just doesn't actually practice amid the contract dispute. Wilkins is in the final year of his deal, and the market for defensive tackles has exploded. Head coach Mike McDaniel confirmed this was the case earlier today, saying, quote, he feels that his play is deserving of a contract. We would agree as the Miami Dolphins organization. Henceforth, we are in negotiations, and as a result, he hasn't really participated in team drills. When he next participates, that will be up to him. I'm comfortable with the situation as it stands. Christian and I are in constant communication, and this is part of the business. Now, the sack numbers might not show it. The rest of the numbers do. The last 2 years for Christian Wilkins of his career have been wildly impressive. A ridiculous number of tackles for an interior defensive lineman, a bunch of TFLs, 16 and 10 respectively. If you're ranking the top 10 defensive tackles, I think Christian Wilkins is on that list, which means he's going to get paid probably like a top 5 tackle. Normally, you get paid a bit higher than your normal number because there's always new guys getting paid, etc. And the market has changed in the past year or so. You know, it used to be Chris Jones, $20 million. That's the benchmark to beat because you're not going to get paid more than Aaron Donald does. Jones, by the way, is also holding out. Javon Hargrave got $21 million. Buckner Williams got the same. Dexter Lawrence and Deron Payne, 2 great run stoppers, getting $22.5 million. I kind of think Wilkins should be in a similar category there. Jeffrey Simmons at $23.5, Quinnen Williams, $24. Maybe you don't make Wilkins a top 3 highest paid tackle, but I do think top 5 is within his range to ask for. This could easily be a $100 million man for the Dolphins. I know that's expensive. I do. So with that in mind, do you want to pay Christian Wilkins? Y for yes, N for no. That is going to be today's pinned comment. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Y for yes, N for no. Dolphins tackle Teron Armstead, says he's still working his way back from his injuries, by the way, had this to say, we need him about Christian Wilkins. The organization knows we need him. So hopefully they'll figure it out, whether it's stock options or something. Now, he's not wrong on needing Christian Wilkins. I think he's a big part of your defense, and as your best interior defense lineman by, as much as I love Zach Sealer, a pretty big margin, you want him out there on the football field. I do think stock is illegal. I don't think you can actually pay a player in that fashion. Although, and I'll die on this hill as to what was going on, the Patriots for years circumvented the salary cap by paying Tom Brady / his wife under the table and allowing the TB12 method to be such a big part of like the organization somehow and circumvent the cap. Though that was allowed for years by the NFL. Whatever. I digress. You can't actually pay him in stock. But yes, you should get the deal done sooner than later, I would argue, with Christian Wilkins. Couple quick joint practice takeaways then from today. It wrapped up earlier this morning / afternoon. I guess it is afternoon. Injury news and notes and updates to start. Cam Smith did some individual drills, kind of warm-up stuff there with a non-contact jersey on. I view that as a good sign. The fact that Smith was out there even getting some work in probably means that shoulder isn't too big of a concern. I don't know if he's going to play this weekend in the second preseason game, but I'm not too worried about him in terms of being good to go for week 1. Meanwhile, Kader Kohou, the other corner among many on this roster, he has an undisclosed injury of some fashion right now. Sounds like it's likely minor. McDaniel put him and Smith in the same bucket of like a day-to-day category, so we'll monitor, but not too concerned there. Same with Jaylen Waddle. McDaniel said he was itching to get back out there, basically, but the team's going to limit him and not let him do anything crazy from that perspective. So ultra cautious for Waddle. He'll be fine for week 1 as well. What's interesting, amid the ongoing battle for left guard, headlined by Isaiah Wynn against him, and maybe some Lester Cotton gets mixed in there at some point, but we'll see. Liam Eichenberg has a undisclosed nagging injury, going to be limited to joint practices, did not participate today, and now I'm curious what he'll do tomorrow and what he'll be able to do on Friday, because if he's not out there, or on Saturday, all of a sudden that left guard battle gets a little bit even more murky than it already is. You can bet on the regular season, bet on the preseason, NFL, college football, and a whole lot more with our sportsbook partner, and that is BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code you see on screen right there. It's Dolphins 125, $100 down as the minimum deposit bonus will give you 125% on top of what you put down. So you put in $100. They're going to give you $125 for free. So you are truly playing with the house money. That way, in case you get some bets wrong, it's okay. You still got money left over. And if you win your bets, boom, you got even more money. It's a win-win for you. Maybe you want to bet on the Dolphins to win the division. The Bills are the favorites at plus 125. The Jets, and as concerned as we are about the offensive line, New York's in maybe even a worse spot. They're plus 250. The Dolphins are plus 300, and the Patriots still further down there. Go bet on the NFL with our sportsbook partner. It's BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code Dolphins125. Second joint practice takeaway, Jalen Phillips was cooking dudes today. He was a monster against Houston, as he's been for a good portion of the preseason, or of training camp. And this type of thing that makes you feel better about your own offensive line. Because Jalen Phillips was looking great against the Dolphins. And when it's against yourself, you always go, okay, is the defense just really good? The defense really good? Or is the offense bad? Doing it against another team, against the Texans after a strong showing against the Falcons too, probably means that Phillips is just going to break out this year. The year 3 step forward from Jalen Phillips, I am convinced, is coming. He showed promise the first 2 years of his NFL career, made the comment of how he's learned to win not just with speed and power, but develop more of an arsenal overall. I think double-digit sacks is coming for Jalen Phillips. He would have had more if the secondary and the all-out blitz schemes weren't killing his numbers from that perspective. So, still got a half-month-ish to go, 3/4 of a month, whatever, until the season begins. I am all aboard the Jalen Phillips hype train. So prediction time. How many sacks will Jalen Phillips end up having this year? I'm putting the over-under at 10.5. Get your votes in right now. Finally, Tua and the offense were better today. Not perfect. There were 2 interceptions, 2 of the bigger highlight reel plays, some pick sixes involved there because they're doing some short area of the field. Red zone work tends to result in big plays there. But he also had multiple touchdowns. The red zone offense was firing much more efficiently than what we've seen in past weeks. So after a couple days in a row of not great showings from the offense, definitely better today against a Texans team, by the way. I don't think he's going to have a garbage defense. I think we'll probably finish around league average-ish this upcoming season. And look, some out there, some of the aggregator accounts for certain quarterbacks, and Tua falls in this category, like to focus on the negative. Even though Tua, for his career, has not been a turnover-prone quarterback. He has not been someone that tends to make mistakes and leads to big errors and interceptions. He's a normally very accurate, very good decision maker. So I am not worried about Tua. Yeah, he's had a couple interceptions lately. Oh, no, it's training camp. If you're getting bent out of shape over training, even joint practice, which are more important than camp practices, if you're getting worried about interceptions, unless that is a concern you had going in based on more than one season of sample size, I would not be concerned at all. I think the Dolphins' offense is going to be just fine. Tua will still be efficient. And by the way, yes, there were plenty of big plays once again for Tyreek Hill. Whomst among us could have seen that happening? That is the end of today's video. If you guys made it to the end, thank you. You are a real one. Head down to the comments section and type in me so we can show you guys some love.